Computer. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm sorry that Tuesday did not work out. Sometimes technology isn't our friend, but Nalia and Darren have allowed me to record this evening, so we're going to go through the final project and even talk a little bit about the avant-garde to make that clearer for everyone. Yeah, so Darren, Nalia, how are you both?
Good.
Doing very good.
So I have asked you a question for you. So you've watched the avant-garde films of Kenneth Anger, Maya Deren, Stan Brakhage, and you've also seen Moonlight, is what you're working on this week. Have you seen Moonlight yet?
I haven't gotten to it.
That's
I'll
okay.
probably watch it later tonight or early tomorrow.
That totally works. Darren, have you had a chance to see it yet?
Not yet, but I'm going to watch it over the weekend.
And that's totally fine. The nice thing about um, Barry Jenkins' Moonlight is you'll see right away that it does borrow some ideas from the avant-garde. And I mean, even now, like our lighting in the show that we're doing is very avant-garde as well. And it has all this kind of blues and oranges and yellows that I can't quite get into the camera and greens. So he really plays with light to get at emotion. And he doesn't necessarily tell you exactly what each thing means. And so I really think it's important to understand the like what colors mean. Like basically, like behind me is blue, right? And we know that blue means night in cinema. But in Barry Jenkins' world, the blue might mean something very different. Yes, it's night, but we're talking about moonlight and the blue of moonlight. And what does that symbolize? And the moon is female normally, or is considered female. So it just, and there's also the man in the moon. So it's like kind of this weird thing like, is it a man? Is it a woman? Is it a they? Right? You don't know. Is it non-gendered? So there's like some really interesting questions that come up. And I think what's really also important about the film is that to get at the emotions, he does it in an avant-garde way. It's not like how Hollywood traditionally does emotions, where they tell you, they give you the music to give you the exact, like, this is a sad moment, this is an angry moment. He will even take away sound out of the actors' mouths. So you don't know what they're saying, and all you can feel is the feeling. Does that make sense? So he plays with cinema in an interesting way, but I think it's a lot easier to get at than, say, Kenneth Anger, Maya Deren, and Stan Brakhage. And then, of course, the Salvador Dali and the Luis Buñuel Un Chant de Luz. Um, I want to say this is very important to me, and I don't think I've said it enough. When we go into the cinema, we may all watch Moonlight together, but we're all going to get a different experience of Moonlight because of who we are and how we've been brought up and where we live. So it all comes down to socioeconomics, how we understand that film. And are we open-minded enough to understand the film? Can we open our minds enough? Can we not be too judgy as we're watching these characters to really like be empathetic with them? Those are kind of like questions that come up. And Barry Jenkins makes it hard for the audience because some of the characters, like, they're dealing drugs, they're killing kids, clearly they're hurting mothers, right? And yet you have to feel for this guy. And do you feel for the guy? And why do you want to feel for the guy? Like, it really like plays with you. And this is spoiler alert, sorry. When the character passes away, they don't even give him a funeral, which I think says a lot. Like, and he's such a father figure to Little. The character has three names played by three different actors in three different periods of their life. And actually, all three actors don't even look alike in any way, shape, or form. They don't even try, which I think makes it even more avant-garde or allows for more empathy, right? Because even like the skin tone is very different for each of the actors. Does that make sense? And I think it's really an interesting thing to play with and a beautiful thing to play with because it's not a light skin problem or a dark skin problem or a white problem or a Latino problem. It's an everybody problem, which I think it comes down to. Though specifically, this is a movie about Black culture for sure. But it's also universal because drugs are universal, sadly. So I think it's easier to get at. But the avant-garde, just like the avant-garde forces you to think, it forces you to interpret, it forces you to be critical of what you're seeing. They want you to engage because they don't want you to like just sit back and be manipulated. Hollywood's really good at manipulating. The news is really good at manipulating. Insta is really good at manipulating. You know what I mean? But when you start thinking, which is what corporations don't want you doing, then you start seeing the problems in the system. They would rather you just like drink your popcorn, or sorry, drink your soda, eat your popcorn, and just like lay back and get done. Enjoy the movie, go on the emotional roller coaster. Don't think too much. Yeah, you're allowed to feel, but don't think. because thinking is dangerous. Thinking changes the world. And the most important thing is miracles are easy, right? I mean, we think miracles are like this really hard thing. No, a miracle is just a change in thought. To put that out there. That's like life lesson stuff. So I just want to give you that about the avant-garde. Was there anything about the avant-garde that you had questions about? Or you can say avant-garde or experimental. Experimental means someone's just like playing with how they create a story and tell a story. Avant-garde means political, and it's going after society itself on a political level. So there's politics involved in it. So you're probably wondering, like, well, how is Maya Daren's Meshes of the Afternoon, political? Well, the female is political. Her body is always subject to government, isn't it? Think about what's happening in the news now. Darren.
Question I just had was, do you have any other examples of avant-garde being in other movies?
Okay, so almost every movie steals from the avant-garde to make it better. There's a really well-known movie from I want to say early 2000s. It's called Memento. And the guy has problems with memory, so he takes Polaroids to remember where he is, and they flip the movie all around in terms of space and time, and by the end you understand it. Another great one, right, is Fight Club. Fight Club is filled with experimental techniques. What's another one more recent? There's one that's really cool. It was about social media and use. What was the name of the movie? It just came out just a couple months ago. It uses social media, and they didn't say Insta or Snapchat or Facebook, but they used all the bubbles and things to tell the whole movie. Do you know what I'm talking about? I will try to look it up and find it, and I'll throw it up onto an announcement because everyone should see it. I saw it, but I can't remember it because I was doing a whole lot of work at that point. I ran in to see it, if that makes sense. What else would be experimental? This movie is triggering. Let me give you a heads up. So if you are a hero, I like to use the word hero, of rape or sexual assault, not a survivor or a victim, but a hero, someone who tells their story, gets it out there, tries to change the world to make things better. And sorry about the noise in the back. That's the theater production going. I hope you can hear me okay. Anyway, it's called Irreversible, and the whole story is told backwards. It is just after the sexual assault takes place, through the rape, all the way up to the day when the rape takes place. So it's totally backwards. Normal movies have a beginning, middle, end that start at the beginning kind of a story and go towards the end of a story. And sometimes you get flashbacks, right? But flashbacks were invented by the avant-garde. And people play with surrealism. But now it's every day, it's common. Flashbacks do not seem experimental any longer. You know what I mean? But back in the day, they were. No one thought of that before. Does that help? And then think about the camera of Dr. Caligari that we watched from 1919. Remember that moment where Caligari is walking and all the words come up like murderer or Caligari, whatever it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's experimental, isn't it? Seeing words on the screen in that kind of way. So experimental is used all the time. And every single music video steals from the avant-garde. In fact, music allows you to do more actually. Because music is not linear necessarily. It's more like a poem. And I would say that and I think I said this, when I look at Maya Deren and Kenneth Anger and even Stan Brakhage, I really think of what they're doing as poems because it's easier to understand as a poem, right? Because it's image, 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 image. Poems are about images. And film is about images. So poetry and film go really well together. Does that help answer the question, Darren?
Yes, I didn't know that music videos not would intentionally, but have stolen from avant-garde. I never knew it was like that, or I never knew it was so deep in root with our history, with music and art and film.
Yeah, and if you look at it, if we go to who should I didn't see. I've only listened to Beyonce's last album. I have not seen any of the videos. I never watch music videos any longer. I used to watch them all the time. It was my thing. But then MTV went all reality TV. And there's no more music
Right.
videos really. And you have to go onto YouTube and put in the artist's name and find it. And by the time I got onto YouTube, I'm looking at other things. But anyway, but yeah, music totally takes, and they take from art too. I know that Lady Gaga has a research team that she has people who just do research for her and whole artwork and things for her to be inspired by for her videos, for her music, but especially for her videos. if that helps. And then one of the first music video makers was Kenneth Anger, working with Rolling Stone and Mick Jagger. If you look, you put in like Rolling Stone and Mick Jagger and Kenneth Anger, stuff will pop up. And then the great experimental director Derek Jarman did all the stuff for the Smiths, did some stuff for the Smiths, which is a really important like 80s, 90s band. Mostly 80s and into the 90s, it became Morrissey. But yeah, directors are always doing stuff. Darren's working out, by the way, everyone, just so you know what he's doing. And that's fine. It's called multitasking. Okay, so I want to go into the final film project, then we'll end this. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
So do you both have you got a chance to look at the week 13 lesson folder as recommended yet? You have.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
I would just like you to run through it. Like just if you could just like, talk through it. I am like a more like a listener, learner also. So if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. It's my absolute pleasure. That's why I'm doing this, because I know that everyone's a different learner. Like there's a lot to read, but sometimes reading is not the best way to learn. Like I actually learn best through movement. That's why I love film and dance and theater. Like I learn best through moving. When I go and look at a canvas, right, in a museum, if there's nobody around, like I dance full out to the canvas. If there are people around, I'm like moving my hand and my wrist to understand what I'm looking at in the painting more. And if I don't give a care, like I'm just gonna swear, if I don't give a fuck, I'll just dance in front of everybody and not care because I love the painting so much and I wanted to get deeper into it. So we all learn in different ways. So I have no problem um, sharing how this project should go. So here's the best news, Nalia. Every single instructional video I have done is a modeling for your video essay. Does that help? So, like, I mean, I say that, like, I don't want you to regurgitate myself, right? And in truth, if I had to be really honest, I made all those videos by myself with my own camera, my own scripting, my own editing. They were all done by me. I did not have a team, right? In my dream world, I'd have like a team of at least 5 people, and we'd have like all kinds of great editing. We'd have like music that's made especially for these videos. We would have like a 2-camera process, just a 1 camera, and it would just be like bang shebang. So how I did it was I was really guerrilla in my filmmaking, and guerrilla filmmaking is a thing. It's a beautiful thing, guerrilla filmmaking. It's a style of filmmaking, which, says you don't need a big old crew. It goes back to like Breathless, right? Like Jean-Luc Godard literally did not want that many technicians in his way. He wanted to get at the actors, the script, the cinematographer, and the sound. Like he was messing around with the continuity lady the entire time, trying to keep her out of the room. And guess what happened? There's all kinds of little mistakes in his film because he wouldn't let the continuity lady in. So there's that kind of thing. Like, there's like famous scene where the shirts change. Like literally they change. Like it's a totally different shirt. So when you're one person, you can only do so much, And so I don't expect you to do like one of my favorite things on Netflix is Patriot Act. It's a news show, and he has like a team of like I don't know 200 people. It's a beautifully edited, fast paced instruction news kind of program that I just love. Like I just love the style of it. That would be my dream. And maybe someday the college will help me create that dream because it's deserved. You all deserve like highest quality stuff. Yes, Darren.
When you make your videos for YouTube, do you record off of your computer or off of your phone? Or what device do you use?
Sure. I was using my phone.
Okay.
I was using my phone. And in some of those videos, like when I couldn't get the videos from our library, like because a bunch of them are in domain, meaning they've been around for 100 years at this point. So I'm able to just like film them off of my screen. I just pop them up so I can talk over the top of them, if that makes
Right.
sense. So I've done that. So when it comes to like, it would be good. So I'd say the most important thing is like, just put in a couple of clips from the film that demonstrate your point. And
Okay.
you don't have to go looking for them. Just play the video, grab it with your phone, and do not use the audio. Just use the image itself. Because if you use the audio, it trips YouTube up and like, ooh, copyright issue. But you're allowed to use a certain amount of footage educationally without being slapped down. But YouTube doesn't quite understand that with their censors. Does that make sense? because they're always looking with their algorithms like, have you stolen music? Have you like stolen any clips? Do you own this? Do you get the rights to this? So you just want to use your own voice and just use the images from the film, no sound. And if you notice, I've never used the sound from the films. And I had friends who do tango music, so a lot of my music comes from friends who play. And I went there and recorded. And they gave me their music to use. Make sense? So it's really what I do in there. And I think the most important thing is tell us something new. Like, yes, I asked you to do like codes and conventions and genre stuff, but you're going to be working with, let's say feminism, right? And if you look down, I put up my mapping for Moonlight to give you an idea, because there's two females in Moonlight and the characters never see each other. And they have a way, they talk about each other, but we never see them interact. And it's very interesting when you apply it to something called the feminist mystique. And we have never covered the feminist mystique in class. So that would be something new if you chose to do feminism for your film. Does that make sense? Now I'm going to tell you another thing as well. And this is for all my people of color and my queer people. So people who are marginalized, essentially. The film, we're not there. There are no gay people in there. There are no Black people. There are no Latinos or Asian people. And that's where the problem is. Like, why aren't they there? Right? Didn't Black people fight in World War II in Europe? Didn't some of them stay in actual Paris? Wasn't there a Harlem Renaissance kind of feel in Paris? Like the jazz age was everything. And you have the great Josephine Baker, who was the highest paid Black woman in the world, performing and having a recording career and doing shows in Paris. Yeah. And why don't we see a Black person? Like, why? And the music is by George Gershwin, who's literally ripping jazz music off of Black people. Right? So not being there is still being there. So I want to throw that out there to you as well. So just because you don't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Make sense? So you can do something on Asian people, right? I think Asian people might be a little harder, Asian studies, because I don't see anything that's really stolen from Asian people or appropriated from Asian people in the film as much as I see from Black people, for sure. So there's to put that out there for everybody. That's my honest take on it. When it comes to semiotics, right? We've never covered Roland Barthes. We've done nothing with him. He's a great semiotician. So if you go to Roland Barthes, you'll be great. And then I think the most important thing for everyone to know, right, is that Graham Turner at the end of every single chapter literally gives you research material. Like, here's this article in this book on your topic. It's all there. So you don't have to hunt around the library for hours and hours on end trying to find material for yourself. The man has literally handed it to you. Make sense? So I'd say that the biggest thing is, one, like just throw in like 3 images. It could just be, even if you don't want to like shoot video, you can find still images on Google that you can download and pop into your video. As far as the video editing program goes, the new, like the industry standard going right now is DaVinci. And there's a DaVinci that's free, and there's a DaVinci that you pay for. And the free DaVinci is great. It's easy, user-friendly, and that's all you would need for this class. Yes? But you can use whatever you want. You can go very basic with the editing. Cool? But if you put images in, you're just not a talking head. Yeah, it's an app. So I'm going to write this in the chat for you. So, actually, Da Vinci, it's like the artist, Leonardo da Vinci, right? It's like kind of named after him, I think. I don't know, though. But my dreaming is it's probably named after him since he's an important artist and he changed a lot. But so it's Da Vinci. And that is free. And Hollywood is now using it to put films together. So if you're a film person, it's a great thing to download and start working with. But of course, Hollywood's using the paid version. Yes, Nelia.
I've noticed that week 14 is the submission for this assignment. Is this the last assignment for the course?
It is, yes, the final project. I did have on there a final exam, but I think we've done enough discussion forums, quizzes, narratology worksheets. We need something new and fun, and I think doing this kind of project is more fun. And let's face it, yeah, I think it's more fun, it's more interesting, and we'll get to know you more. Because I hate that this class, I understand the benefits of online learning, but I think it's great to be in contact with people and to see people's thought process and to hear them and to see them, even if it's through this medium. It's better than nothing. Though I'm about to meet Darren momentarily, like in an hour and a half. He's coming over to get some extra credit. And Lily, I'm so sorry. And everyone, I'm so sorry about the extra credit. I lost two people in my program to retirement. And I've been doing the job of three people, basically. And so I haven't had enough time to like create like extra credit kind of stuff. Normally I have it. Normally I have the time to be like, boop, 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 boop. Here's some extra credit opportunities. But this semester I've just like a go, go, go bunny. So I'm trying to get more extra credit out there. But I will tell you this: if people want extra credit, um, all the dance students and a bunch of sound design students are performing and showing their films and video bombs and sound designs in Trenton for Cinco de Mayo, first Friday, May. And they're projecting their movies on like a building. Like it's huge. Like you're going to be on the bridge. You can look over and see our movies playing. It's going to be cool. So that's Cinco de Mayo. And I'm going to see if I can figure out some extra credit opportunities for people there so that you can get some more points if you want them. So I'll throw that out there now. So just save Cinco de Mayo. I believe first Friday starts like around like 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock. But I'm not 100% positive. I'll give more information as we go. So I think I can find some extra credit there as well. Yes, Darren.
Will the extra credit points all be put towards the like final video, like not on these next quizzes?
Sure. I am very generous. Like I will go back and I will change scores from 8s to 10s, from 7s to 9s. Like I trust me, I don't know if you could tell when it comes to points, I'm very generous. All I really care about is that you learn. I don't care about grades at all. Right. And I'd rather just give if I mean, I think you have to make people work for their grades. I think that's very important. But I'm not going to be a ball buster about points, if that makes sense. If you do the work, you submit on time, you're going to pass the class, you do some extra credit. I have no problem like just bumping things. And you saw the midterm, right? Everyone was given, what was it, 36 points on their midterm? That's real generous. And so if you saw that generosity there, think about what my generosity could be like for the extra credit. Sound good?
Yes.
Is there any other points I can give for the final exam? Have fun. That's the most important part. If you're having fun, if you're passionate, if you love what you're doing, what you're sharing, we're going to love your project and we're not going to yawn. And I promise you, like, you're going to get a very long email of feedback from me. Like, it's long. It's like 3 pages. Maybe not 3 pages, but you're gonna be like, whoa, that's a lot of feedback. Because to me, it's like not now is important. What's important is your future. And I want to make so this is your first time doing a video essay. It's gonna be good. Like I know you're gonna do a good job. I'm always surprised by like how good these projects are. But I'm gonna tell you things to make it better for when you do another one in the future. Or maybe, right, like you can convince the teacher, like you don't want to write a paper. So do a video essay for them instead. Where you tell them, like, I'm gonna do some edits, I have all these ideas. Wouldn't you rather make a video essay than write a fucking paper? If you really think it through. So that's my purpose too. Yes, Darren.
Does is there any um, video length requirement? Does the video have to be a certain amount of minutes?
Uh, I think I said 5 to 7 minutes. Under 5 is
Okay.
way too short. Over 7, like I don't know if you go to like 8 or 9, but over that you're gonna lose people. Like I know for a fact, and I know this people. I know that people don't watch all my videos all the way from beginning to end. I even like I don't know who is not, and actually I could tell if I wanted to. Like I turn on something to know. I don't want to know. All I know is I'm giving you really good information that you can take to your English classes, your anthropology classes, your sociology, your women's studies, into the art world itself. But if you don't want to watch them fully, that's your choice. You're adults. You do what you want to do. I just make sure that I do my job. That's what's important to me. And I do it as best as I can. I literally told people I would never teach online. I'm like, no, never teach online. I hate it. But now that I'm doing it, I'm like, okay, this is cool. As long as we have some Zoom meetings. And it's nice to be able to do it when you need to do it, right? Instead of like, like, oh my goodness, my grandmother, she's ill. Like, I'm not going to do this tonight. I'm going to go to my grandmother. I can do this on Saturday. Like, I think that flexibility is really beautiful. You know? Any other questions?
Yeah. Is this our last Zoom meeting for the semester, or are
It
we?
is. This is it. That's what kills me, that the other Zoom didn't work. Like, and I paid for this out of my own pocket. The college won't pay for it.
Mm.
But I want you to like, and so that I don't want my thing to like have to like restart for 45 minutes. Plus, I'm also an interdisciplinary artist, and so I have people I work with all over the country. So it's good to have this anyway to bring people together. So yes. Oh, I will recommend this. The Shadow Men is this weekend at Kelsey Theater. It's based on the artwork of Tamara Torre. So it's 19 paintings that have been brought to life in dance and in theater. There's a film even for this. When you walk in, there's like an actual film that I used in order to create what's on the stage. It's really cool. It's only $10 for Mercer students. The artist will be here on Friday and Sunday. What else can I tell you? It's really incredible. Like it's nothing like you've ever seen before. It's definitely experimental, but in a good way. We have three really amazing hip hop pieces. Like we get just these hip hop dances that are just like astounding. And there's like great contemporary dance, like lyrical or modern. And then there's Japanese buto dancing. And there's all kinds of styles of acting too. Like it's really quite special. Like I'm gonna like say like this is like one of the best things you'll ever see in Mercer County. I feel that very strongly. And like can you hear the music? This is I think this is the third hip hop scene, or it's the second one. It's the second one. But yeah, it's really good. It's a hip hop you've never seen before, style wise, new ideas conceptually. Because I'm always like pushing for new. I love new. Any other questions?
I thought there was a I thought there was something happening on Friday too. Is there not a play or anything on the
Yeah,
14th?
yeah, yeah. On Friday, on this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the Shadow Men.
Oh, okay, okay.
And it's amazing. Like it's a multiracial, multicultural cast and creative team. It's not all white people who are strange. But
And
we have them too. Yes, we
it's
have
still
them
the
too.
$10.
So it's everybody. Yeah, it's only $10. And I'm telling you, like, it's gonna be a good night. That's all I can tell you. And I actually probably should let you go so I can go back to it because they're probably waiting for me. But is there any final questions? And you
Well,
know what? If you come to the show, I will give some extra credit as well. There you go. Just see me at the show
real
so I write
quick,
down your name. Yes, Darren.
um, before we make our videos and stuff, do you want us to send you which of the topics we're going to write on or make the video on?
Sure. So I thank you for asking that question. So with that question, you need to, I think it's in the discussion forum for week 13, you write down what topic you want. Only 3 people to each topic. So it's really first come, first serve. If someone like literally what is the 4th person doing feminism, I will give them a phone call and be like, sorry, you can't do that one. So I'm going to call you if your topic doesn't work because there's already 4 people on it. So if I don't call you, you're okay. And like if you know, it's like the time, like it's literally time. Like it says what time you dropped in your topic. So I know who was first, second, and third. Yeah. If you want, I can look at it right now. Let me just go to the share screen. Let me go, let me get it. I can tell you what's up there now. Discussions. Week 13. I'm gonna share screen in a moment, just getting to the place. Week 13. Final product question forum. Pop. That's weird. Cinema 2023. Let's go back one. What's really interesting is no one's written down their topic yet, but I know someone wanted to. Let's look in here. Nope. All topics at this moment are open. It shows nothing. I actually put up a topic just to test it to make sure things are good. I'm not in student mode, right? And nope, I'm not in student mode. All right, so I'm just I'm gonna share the screen. Give me one moment. Back to Zoom. Zoom. Right now, all topics are open, but I know people said they picked ones. So share screen. Uh, Here we go. Here, share. So right now you see the discussion forum, right? I've created this discussion board so that you can ask me questions concerning the final project for this class. So, that's for the questions. So go back one.
We can see it.
Large topic choice. So right here, so if you want to ask me more questions about the final project, there's a form for that right here. Then there's the final
Okay.
project large topic choice. You click on that, and nobody's replied to this yet. So I'm going to be like, reply. And then all I do is put in, this is Jody. You don't have to do that. My topic is LGBTQIA plus studies. Submit. So see, I'm the first one who put the thread in. So no one's put a thread in yet. So everyone can grab it. You guys can be first to grab what you want. Cool.
Okay.
I should double check that there's no, just, sometimes like Blackboard trips you up. I was gonna look at week 12 really quickly, but there should be no discussion forum for week 12. No. This is the final product link posting. Nope, no one's put any links. So yeah, there's nothing. So you guys would be first up if you went right away for it. Cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop the share. So we should be good. Any other questions? No? Be careful here. I dropped the thing. Darren, we will talk momentarily.
I'll see you at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock sounds good. Just come right across the way and into the theater. And I'll see you again, Anelia, hopefully at some point. Come to the show this weekend. There's some cool cats here. Bye. Bye-bye,
Thank you for
everyone. Thank you for your
everything.
time.